how to get out of wholesaling. If we compare class seniority, right? Some say, and I agree with this, that wholesalers are freshmen, flippers are sophomores, buy and hold single family and small multifamily are juniors, and commercial multifamilies are seniors. Developers are the postgraduates, right? They've got the masters in it. But in this episode, we're going to talk about how to get out of wholesaling, embracing the suck of the job that you have to do to pay for your real estate education, right? And some of you, that is the W-2 that you're in right now, and you still haven't texted me since back in episode number 164, which was the first episode of season 4 here. And so I need you to do that right now. My cell phone number, 205-249-0248. Let me know the worst job you've ever had. If it's right now, go ahead and text me. And this is episode number 179 of the W2 Capitalist podcast. All right, Brody, back to real estate. Got a question for you.
Okay. Hopefully I have an answer for you.
It's really, hopefully you do.
Maybe we do. Maybe we don't.
What does it look like for you to get out of the wholesaling business? What do you got to accomplish?
Yeah, so that's something else somebody was talking about. So, like I said, I hired another coach, Aaron, and he was talking with one of his like mentors. They were doing like a live cold calling thing. It was Quentin Flores, and they went back and forth on this. He's like, I'm like, he said some savage. He was like, I'm ahead of you. Like, I'm not doing wholesaling anymore. Like, I'm buying them, like buying office buildings. And it's like, he's like, you're still wholesaling. Like, and it's like, yeah, I get where he's coming from on that like topic, but at the same time, like, it's still a great business to learn business.
Yeah.
And where we're at is with like, kind of like, and what Aaron's, what his passion is teaching people how to get into it. That's why we went with them. So, it's a great business to learn business because it was everything that I've been doing here and learning here is just automatically applies over. And it was like kind of a topic, like talking with Caitlin about, it's like everything's complementary here. The skill sets just apply over. So when it comes time to, the exit strategy for wholesaling is to, we had a number, like a crazy number in mind, like $1.6 million in like cash assets, essentially, like either stuff that's easily liquidated, like putting it into, like a bond fund, something very stable, but it's not like losing money, or, $1.6 million in sort of like syndications working at like a certain percentage. That gets us out of like the wholesaling business. But Quentin was like, you don't need that much. Like, he didn't answer the question, but he's like, you make some capital and then you go start another venture. Make some capital, then you go start another venture. So like he started like doing, like the drop shipping Airbnb, or not Airbnb, Amazon stores.
Okay.
It's like, you got 50 grand, you can start something that's making you that, and it, making you 50 grand year over year. And it's like, okay. And then we got another business where it's like a record label that took $150,000 to start up. And we have like a producing studio. So it's like all this stuff that he's in,
What is Amazon storage?
So Amazon store, and virtual Amazon store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, e-commerce, basically, like an e-commerce business.
Okay.
So there's a lot of room for growth in that industry, but it's just one of those things where I'm not super interested in it. Like, I would start an Amazon store, but it would just be for like Airbnb stuff, like furnish your whole house out of the store. It's kind of the idea I had for it. But, again, capital to do that. So I'm kind of shit to answer your question, Jay.
Yeah, you're beating around the bush, man.
So yeah, to answer your question, I don't know. I really thought I had a pretty clear picture of like, okay, build up just a ton of cash, and then while on this journey, I've been introduced to, okay, you can start multiple businesses once you get one under control and producing persistently. So that's what I'm trying to do, is just get it consistently, like quarter over quarter, like, okay, we're doing 60 grand a quarter with consistency.
It'll morph as opportunities come along and
Right.
you get clout for what you've accomplished, like it'll morph into that. To me, it's not like there's a switch of, oh, I've hit this goal, I'm gonna switch it over. Like it morphs, like it doesn't, it merges. So
Yeah.
and then you'll be able to just kind of naturally go into it, because the thing about wholesaling is it's kind of a cheap education, and
Yeah, it's a free education. That's exactly how I think of it.
yeah. So
It pays for itself.
and I've talked to Jamie, who couldn't join us this evening, but he was getting kind of down about doing this construction stuff, and he's wasn't getting motivated, and I was like, you got to change the mindset. You got to wake up and see it as a free or money making education, as opposed to that's not the life you want. But like when I did home inspection, like I fucking hated that shit, but I treated it as an education, so that I could walk into any house and just walk around and be able to assess what the fuck's wrong with
Peel it apart quickly. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think I agree. Who was the mentor that said you got to get it stabilized to the point where now you can kind of automate it more, and then you go focus on. I am a firm believer in that. And, I don't think it's going to take 1.6. Here's what I've realized, because we've done this unknowingly. This was not our plan. We just kept looking for multifamilies and whatnot. And about once a year, we would invest close to 50 or 75,000 into a multifamily. And now we're to that point where some of those have cycled off and they doubled. And so we put that original 50 back to work somewhere else. And then we took the other half of it. I said 50, I meant 50%, other half of it to something else. And now as I look at kind of those, I don't even know the number. I'm totally guessing here, but basically we took a $25,000 investment over the course of 4 years. It's now into like 200,000 because we kept doing the same thing. Like that 25 turned into close to 100 in 3 years. And then we took that 100 and over the last year and a half, have turned it into 2. So what I'm trying to tell you is I don't think you need to wait till 1.6. I think you need to set a smaller goal and say, okay, well now here's that cash. I'm going to go invest in this, or in this multifamily project, or here's $100,000 in cash. I'm going to go be a lender for W2 Capital.
Nice plug.
Nice plug.
But in all seriousness, I that was not our plan, but I just kind of look back and damn, how did we get here? If we would have waited and tried to save up till we
all
got
the money, it's not going to happen.
It's a long time.
And it's a
and
very
other
long
stuff comes
time.
up, man. And I'll tell you, I don't know. Well, we've had conversations about this, about y'all expanding your family. And man, when you do that, stuff's going to come up every freaking day, and that money's going to go somewhere else. And I was like, and so I even told the guys today, we were looking at a property, and I said, look, I like this opportunity, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I don't have jack squat to invest in it. I am cash poor right now. Everything I have
needs
is
new
out.
shoes, man.
I mean, and everything I have is out and it's working. And I said, I've got a couple of things that may refinance in the next 3 months. I said, but if y'all are looking to close before then, it ain't gonna be with me.
Yeah, I'm all right.
I don't bring anything to the table, but it's I would set those targets a little bit smaller, and then take that money and start putting it to work.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I've been learning. Like that was, Jay, that goal that I set was like starting fresh off the starting line, naivety full force. Like it was. Now I know it's like, well, dude, like we could well, we need a cleaning company. So, I mean, in like building a business in my head really fast, like, okay, like getting a, secondhand van, getting the cleaning supplies, getting additional linens to stay on hand. Like we're looking at maybe an upfront cost of like $32,000, $50,000. And that's like getting the first, 2 months of pay for like 2 employees, and then just like Facebook marketing like fucking madmen,
Yeah.
and then just like getting bookings, and then like, okay, so that's another business now that's making $2,500 a month, and try to keep that going consistently. And then
Keep rolling. Yeah. You want to be in the cleaning business?
So, like I was saying, complementary businesses.
Yeah.
So like things that I am interested in. I know it sounds weird, but I do. My coworkers from my last job would be like, Brody just walked around polishing shit. Like, I like shit being clean. Like we had these things back in school called.
Do you want to come to my house? Do you want to come to my house?
Yeah.
Look, if you'll pay me, fly me down, man. I'm sure you can find somebody cheaper. But I know this is also going to sound kind of gross, but like just doing these hellacious trash outs. My dad had a dog doo-doo house a while ago that he picked up as a wholesale.
It's better than cat piss.
No, man, this was
bad. I don't know,
This is I showed somebody who's like, oh yeah, there's like 3 inches of dog poop, and I showed him this house, and they're like, yeah, that's on par with this.
I'll take that over cat piss any day of the week.
Y'all can have both of them. I'm highly allergic to both of them, and I don't want to. I do love
Jeff,
taking the garbage out.
They had to rip the subfloors out and take it down to the studs and spray everything with kills. So like bleach, let it dry, and then kills it to seal it.
The thing about cat piss though is it like lives in the walls. We had one house that it had both cat piss and dog shit. Like, it was just a ridiculous house, and we sprayed it with everything we could, and we thought we got rid of it. We did the ozone thing and all that, and we sprayed everything on the planet on the subfloor, but we got down to the very end, and we literally just had to take off a piece of baseboard, for something, I forget why, and it wreaked havoc once again, like out of nowhere. Like it just started. It was like we started all over, and it's because of the cat piss.
So it's all bad. So that's hazmat, right? And what one thing that I was looking at, and I actually reached out to a franchise broker or whatever. I was like, do you have any like straight up crazy fucking cleaning? I'm not talking about like house cleaning. I'm not trying to be like, maids are great, love to run the business, but I'm talking about like industrial tank cleaning, stuff that will give me cancer if I don't wear the proper protection.
That's what I want. That's how clean all my stuff. I want
that because like I literally like on the ships, like I remember getting charged. I didn't get charged. The company got charged. I was supervising this job from some dude that they probably picked up off of like what is essentially the maritime like Home Depot corner.
How much did you pay for the new guy?
Yeah, like they're probably giving him like $9 an hour, and he poured like a 1x1 concrete like dam around this like rusted out vent pipe on deck, and they charged us $5,000. It was like straight up like 90-minute quickcrete, and I was like, that's like $5 at Home Depot, or whatever it is, at the time. And I was just
not
like,
$5,000.
$5,000 for that, and I was just literally like, that was another one of those like, okay, so cool Uncle Terry with running hornblower and party boats, great little small business. Whatever the fuck this guy is doing, I'll do 4 of those once a week,
and be done,
done. Like retire off every job.
There's never a better client than the government. The government will just piss. I work for a company that, we got jobs from them all the time, and they will just piss it away, whether it makes sense or not. They just
because they go over budget. They're like, we gotta increase taxes.
Well, half the time it's like they have to spend enough money to make sure they get the same amount of money the next year.
Oh yeah.
I had a buddy.
Which is the dumbest thing ever.
Oh my god! So dumb.
It's not though. If you're in it to make to have big governmental control over everything, right? Because then they can go, we spent this much.
Yes.
We got to have more.
Well, I had a guy who worked with me at this company, and he was talking about the government, and he was in the Navy, and he said that they literally were like at the end of a quarter or whatever, or the year, they were literally just shoving shit into the ocean. So like refrigerators and shit, I don't know how accurate.
Don't give any names. I can make some
Yeah.
money from reporting
And
that.
it's not Brody. It's definitely not Brody, but it was
Yeah.
somebody that worked at a company with me, and he was like, yeah, they would literally just push shit off the ship just so they could get their budget, like buy more.
Oh
than
yeah, yeah, yeah.
what
That's
they just
that's
threw off the
different.
ship.
That's different. You get man, you get some hardcore jail time and you get some hardcore fines applied to you personally if you dump stuff out at sea now. And I think like if you vent like a refrigerator into the atmosphere, like somebody could tell on you and make like a $25,000 just for dropping the dime on your ass, which is crazy. Like holy
any
fuck.
refrigerator? What are you talking about? Like a refrigerator I have in my
venting
house?
refrigerant. Yeah, so like no, we have like big industrial coolers for our chill boxes and
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
Like if you just
Gotcha.
like, oh, we need to replace the refrigerant, or like there's a leak and you just like blow it all out, you can
Yeah.
get fined and there's criminal trial. Yeah, it's a fucking mess. It's like very regulated, the industry. But yeah, like what on to Jeff's note, yeah, back the big Navy, love them to death. Man, they just do not give a shit. They will like throw flat screen TVs over the side. Gym equipment, everything just to get new stuff. Just lost
Oh,
at
well,
sea.
it's,
Well, I mean, the ocean is so fucking big.
It
And
really is.
so fucking big, and it's so fucking deep. I mean, it's if we actually knew how much shit people were throwing in there, we'd probably be just appalled.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Like millions of gallons of oil.
Right. Shit, way
Hello,
worse
BP.
than that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's also millions of gallons of oil just being spewed up from like vents in the ocean floor. Anyways.
It was so funny. So that happened back in what, 2010?
Yeah.
2010. What I'm talking about is the Gulf BP oil spill, and
Yep.
there was a lot of people here locally, a lot of people that I looked up to, very well versed in the fishery industry. And maybe this happened, I just didn't see it, but they were like, man, it's going to take 2 or 3 years, 6 total, but we're going to have like, morphed animals swimming around, morphed fish swimming around. Dolphins are going to become retarded, or whatever the case is, and they were just like, it's just gonna kill.
Frogs are going to turn gay.
Yeah, and I mean, if that's their choice, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was just like everything, like sea life as we know in the Gulf of Mexico is going to come to an end. I'm like,
Nope.
oh, okay. Well, glad we moved down here. That hasn't happened. Like none of that. Not even close.
I think Mother Nature will find a way to kill us before we kill her.
Yeah, I think she knows how to take care of herself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. What was it? So their microbiology society, there is a naturally occurring hydrocarbon degrading bacteria that breaks down oil in the event of a spill. This bacteria has been isolated and manufactured, and it's called alcanivorax
It's called
and
Gattaca.
Marinobacter. Marine bacteria. So, right, really. But I think they found
Good one,
this
Jay.
because essentially it just broke some, like, so there was like a spill in Mexico and they're just like, fuck it. Like, we don't care if it's on the beaches. Like 1 year later, I think it was 8 months later, it was like nothing was there. And they're like, did you guys do anything? They're like, nope.
Nope.
So it all just
Amazing.
broke down, and yeah, and somebody smarter than I, said like they're like foxes in the environment. Like if you have a fuck ton of bunnies, there's going to be a fuck ton of foxes. But if there's not a lot of bunnies, there's not going to be a lot of foxes. It's like, well, duh. That's the same rules that apply
Same
to
thing.
this stuff. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, like putting the cleaning chemicals on the oil killed the bacteria that was trying to break it down. So it was like, nah,
let's just leave it
okay,
alone.
yeah. Not
That's
saying
crazy.
like oil spills are good.
No,
Very not saying that whatsoever. It's just like there's natural ways of handling a lot of natural disasters, quote unquote. So I don't know. Jeff's over here like, shut the fuck up, Brody.
what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Look,
I'm sitting.
The Earth has been around a lot longer than us, and it'll be around a lot longer than us. So
That's true.
I don't think not that I'm anti, you know, uh, keeping the Earth clean and shit, but
We know you're a tree hugger. It's okay. You can come out and say it.
no, I'm not.
But on the cleaning business, that would be a fantastic fucking cleaning business. Because you can go, actually, no. So there are government contracts this is something I learned from our environmental, because we took an environmental course as merchant mariners, we have to. Rapid response cleanup teams that are stationed all around the United States. Like you can go work on their ships if you get your license, but like starting that company, it's like you need like a barge, you need some like oil spill kits. Startup cost is obviously going to be in the millions, but I think
John
the
pays for it.
standard contract, like you need to get there tomorrow. So you fire up your engines, drive down to South Florida or whatever when they have like a little poo-poo in the water. And they'll give you like $11 million for that, just showing up to the party. It's like some crazy astronomical high number. So it's like,
Yeah,
holy fuck.
You're spending a lot of money hoping that something breaks, and then you're floating it for a while. Imagine. Sounds like.
Yeah. Well, when you're playing at that level, everything is, you're probably okay with sitting on that sort of money,
So here's my question: those guys who invest in those type of companies, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, let's talk. I've got some real estate investing opportunities that you might be interested in, not as risky, with a really great return. Like, how do we get in touch with those people? How do we say, look, man, I just want $1 million. By the way, when you leave a review, and I hope you do, don't forget to tell us who you are and leave 5 stars. That's from Dirty Jobs Micro. Listen, guys, if you're interested in exploring any of the products or services that I use to make my real estate investing career easier, or you want to explore joining us in the W2 Capitalist community where you can hang out with guys like myself, Brody, Jamie, and Jeff on a routine basis, there's going to be a link somewhere in the description or comments or something like that, wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast. But as promised, if you have any questions whatsoever, or you feel like I can help you in anything we talk about here today on this episode or any of the previous episodes, send me a text. I was going to say, give me a call, but chances are, if you're not in my phone book, I'm not going to answer. So send me a text. Let me know what episode you're listening to and how I can potentially help you. We'll find a time to get on a call. Okay. My cell phone number is 205-249-0248.